welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 296. So getting even closer to episode 300. And apologies, we are late. I wanted to watch a draw, the FA Cup draw, and see who some teams got. And it's a shame we didn't actually go further because I think our route we could have actually got quite far in this. To be honest, obviously Fleetwood got Port Vale, then obviously lost. I think we could have done them because they'd have been focused on surviving, and then obviously Bristol City at home we'd have got after that. Which I mean, yeah, they're a good side, but I think they're much better at home. And with us kicking on at home, maybe we could have done something and got a bit further, but no, we didn't. But yeah, so I watched that, see what Macclesfield got, obviously knocking out the holders and all sorts of things like that. Some interesting ties, some that are just fucking dog shit, let's be honest. But yeah, how have you been the last few days, Dad?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
Good. Big up to everyone inside as well in the chat. And obviously in today's, we're going to talk about the Stevenage win, which was a much needed win, like we said, going into it, and like we said at the time. And then obviously we're going to briefly touch on tomorrow's cup game, which is an opportunity to get to the quarterfinals. But like we said when we spoke on that being the draw, we said we were expecting a tough game against a team that are right up there in League Two, and obviously got a lot of experience within their side and the manager. So we'll get into that. But yeah, we'll start off with obviously the Stevenage game. Going into it, I mean, the lineup was quite interesting. And obviously, we're at that stage now, January. Sometimes you can get a bit of an understanding on who's going to be, in and out of the squad, if you want to put it like that. Obviously, there was no Mengi. It was rumoured to be injuries. But I don't know, maybe he could be on the way out. Obviously, like I've said, I do want to try and keep him at least till the summer. Because I do think he is our best centre-back. Especially in terms of like being versatile, being able to play everywhere around. But he wasn't in the lineup. Ali wasn't in the lineup, but he hasn't been in the lineup for a while. Apparently, Wilshire's come out and said like he needs to play football. So on that basis, he's either going to be loaned out or sold. I'd be very surprised if he is sold, especially given obviously we only got him last year. But yeah, I'd rather we do that because it's obvious now he's not going to be in the squad. But yeah, in terms of the lineup, so Makoso was in. I mean, that was a surprise, but then again, the Mengi thing makes sense. Obviously, Makoso's first game since the Mansfield game in terms of the league game. Obviously, he has played in the cup games, the Virtue Trophy ones. So Keeley in goal, backing goal, obviously. Longwick on the right. Johnson on the left again, which is obviously good to see. Anderson, good to see him back in because I felt against Exeter we did miss him, to be honest. Walsh and Lamine as the two more defensive ones. Kadoa on the right. Lawrence actually came straight in. I mean, that was another surprise for me. I didn't expect that. I expected him to obviously be on a bench, but not quite start. Clark through the middle and then Wells up front. As for the bench, you had Bramall, Morris, Nelson, Saville, Shea, Walters and Yates. So, yeah, I mean, like I say, a few things I was surprised about. Maybe the fact Walters didn't start again, just given how good he was against Exeter. And like I say, Lawrence coming in was a surprise straight in for me. But yeah, what did you make of that lineup, Dad?
Yeah, pretty much the same. Coming straight in, and Walters, like you say, expect him, but he'll probably start tomorrow. Give Longwick a rest. Left back, be interesting to see who starts tomorrow as well. But other than that, pretty, we sort of settled in that 4-2-3-1 kind of formation now. So the rest weren't really too surprising. Do you know what I mean? Good to see Kadoa back as well. And Clark continuing as captain, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And then going into that first half, I mean, a lot of home games, especially the recent ones where we've obviously picked up, we have obviously started off games well. I mean, we didn't quite start this game off well. We have to be honest. Obviously, they looked quite dangerous from a lot of set pieces they had. I've got to be honest. And I think a lot of that was also down to we were a bit all over the place, I feel, as well. There was a moment where Makoso done a brilliant clearance because I think their player would have got on to the end of it and had a big opportunity there. So it was good from him. And then obviously they had another chance, Keeley with a good save over the bar. I mean, they could have been, 1 or 2-0 up. You know, at the start, we were very slow in terms of the start, and you know, we did dig deep and defend well. You know, them moments, like I say, the Makoso one, and obviously the Keeley save. But yeah, I mean, a few opportunities from them. Obviously, Longwick got a yellow card, which was always a yellow card. And it was a bit of a frustrating start. I mean, even Longwick, he was a bit all over the place, wasn't he, Dad?
Yeah, but you know, again, like that's what happens in this league. You know, certain teams they'll get in your face and that, and kind of knew that they would like that against us at their place, and eventually it paid off for them. But this time, you know, we sort of weathered that storm, and then you know, obviously in the second half, it's completely different story. And then yeah, they had a few chances slinging it into the box and that. But you know, we didn't get away with it. We defended pretty well. And yeah, and then you know, towards the end of the first half, we sort of kicked on, stringing passes together, putting them under pressure, etc. And then obviously won the penalty, definitely a penalty. But yeah, the lead up to that goal, you know, the referees, it was, I don't know, there was a couple of handballs by them at certain points which weren't spotted. And then yeah, obviously the penalty. And looking it back, I didn't realise at the time, but I've seen it, you know, plenty of times. The keeper stepped off his line. It should have been retaken. It wasn't the great. It was good angled penalty, but he got the advantage from stepping off his line, I felt. And the guy, the linesman, might as well not been there at all. The cunt, you know what I mean? When you know watching it, how can you not see that? It's ridiculous. Should have been retaken, but you know it happened. Adversity, as you say, you know these things. And then second half, obviously they got that goal. Not great defending. You know, should have been a shout maybe because it was deflected, wasn't it, from Johnson's head. But you know, from after that point is when we sort of really kicked on, and that's good to see.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, I didn't see that initially as well. But yeah, like you say, I just don't see the point of the linesman there. If he can't see that, like them,
That's what he
they're
said.
yeah, they're literally told to go closer, and he couldn't even notice that. I mean, blatantly obvious. You know, looking back at it, you know, if it was as soon as he shot, then it would have made a bit of sense. But it wasn't. It was like before he even shot.
I mean, Jack Wilshere's come out and said something about these, but you know, there was a few of them, etc. And apparently, they've said to him, it's not handball if he hits another part of the body first. Well, every single one of them hit another part of the body first. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen plenty of where it's happened to us, and it's just not consistent. And it did lead to their first goal as well. But you've just got to learn to play on in this. You know, you see teams in the FA Cup where there was no VAR, like waiting. There was certain things that probably wouldn't have been allowed, goals and this, that, and the other, and where the players that are used to VAR, the Premier, they're waiting for that, but psychologically, but it's not happening. So you just got to get in this league. You just got to play to the whistle, and that's it. That's all you can do. But these things sometimes turn around. You know what I mean? We'll probably get away with one ourselves. So yeah, but yeah, we turned it on after that. We dug in. We was winning the second ball. The first, you know, the second balls, winning our duels, etc. So yeah, and they were quite lucky not to have a sending off as well, where the geezer threw Johnson on the floor. You know, it looked like he punched him a little bit, but I don't know. No, Wilshere hasn't come out and said he was there right there and saw it as well. But he's just said he threw him. He definitely threw him. You know, it kind of looked as if he punched him, which we thought at the time. But he sort of probably pulled back at the last minute but he definitely threw him. Do you know what I mean? Still violent conduct, in my opinion. Didn't even get booked for it, did he? So, Yeah, but we showed the character to come out, and to be fair, after that goal, Johnson swung in a lovely free kick, and who was there to get in on the end of it and smash it home? Jordan Clark. You know what I mean? So them two players who, one missed the penalty and one sort of inadvertently, caused them to score that goal. Both made up for it instantly, within 2 minutes. And normally that's us that do it, go ahead and then concede straight away. So that was good to see. And then obviously the winning goal, good play, Kadua as well, like winning the ball initially, comes out back to Wells. A lot of people saying the pass was under hit, but no, I don't think so. I think it was a good little layoff, and you're pretty sure he was going to score from there. And then basically we just controlled it from there. Should have had another one, obviously with Jates, where it's dinked over the top by Clark. I think it might have been. I mean,
And Saville, by the way, Saville won that header for them.
Yeah.
To do that.
It should have dinked it over him, but when you're not on form and you're not scoring, this is you know what I mean. He's just lashed at it because that's what he's going to try and do. But if he's confident, he's in form, he'll definitely ding that over the keeper. Maybe we need to be starting, maybe experiment a little bit tomorrow. I don't know, put two up front, because tomorrow's still quite an important game for me. I think you've got to go strong if you want to get to the final and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, it wasn't. It was a gritty performances, which sometimes you need to be doing in this league. And we've got a tough, game in the league, and Lincoln away. They already beat us. Is it away?
No, it's at home, obviously.
Oh, well, okay, sorry. Yeah, they beat us away.
Yeah. And
we just they're well drilled, well organised. A couple of ex-players of ours, I think. I don't know if Collins is injured though.
I think he might be, but yeah, Sonny Bradley's playing regularly.
Yeah, and he scored quite a few goals this season himself. So we've got that's another important game because they're second, I think, and it'll definitely put us in the playoffs if we win. So, and going into this business end of the season, you've got to really be turning that on a little bit and showing what you're about, because at the start of the season you're not thinking, oh yeah, Lincoln, yeah, do you know what I mean? We've been like, yeah, we should be beating them, and most teams up there, let's be honest, you could say Cardiff and Huddersfield, possibly Huddersfield especially at the time, the signings they made and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, I think it was a deserved performance. I think I got one of the goal scorers right, maybe a couple of them. Score Jackie, props to Jackie, changed it to 2-1. But yeah, we needed that win. Yeah, we definitely needed that win because we're just a point off.
Yeah, point off. Yeah, whereas there'd have been a bit of a gap otherwise.
We've got a game in hand over a couple of teams now. The gaps developing between the teams that are going for the playoffs and the teams that are below, and we're in the right position. So make the right transfers in this month, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, decent performance.
Yeah, decent turnaround, definitely. And yeah, like you say, Clark obviously getting a goal, which was good. I knew he'd score in this game. I said it going into it, especially the fact he didn't play in the last game against them. And he's one of them players and he knows what it's about. He'll just score in this type of game. And then obviously Kadora. And the thing is, I don't think the pass was bad from Wells either, because I felt, and I think I might have said it on the watch along, as soon as he's gave the ball to him, I knew we were going to score. Partly because of the form he's on, and I just knew he weren't going to take on the shot because, similar to Yates, he's not really on form. A lot of strikers in that position there go on and take the shot, but I think he knew, he had him alongside.
And that's the experience that you want from him. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And he did seem a bit anonymous, but if
in the first half, second half, I thought he was good.
Like that, that's sometimes there's bigger players in who don't even hardly touch the ball. Haaland, for instance, and then touches it 2 or 3 times and scores 2 or 3 goals. You know what I mean? So or players do that in games, but we still need someone to be banging in like double figures. You know what I mean? 20. Well, that's what we are lacking as well. Stevenage are going on about it. Yeah, we're putting the ball in the back of the net, but you know, we need the strikers to be doing that as well. Like they're not contributing enough. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But what I will say, like, obviously, I still want a striker to get goals, like you say, but I like it that he's being, as effective as he is now. Like, I thought first half he was poor, Wells, but I thought second half he was decent. He was quite effective, and he has been like that in the recent home games. He has been much better. I mean, I thought the Leighton Orient game he was really good. Like I said at the time, that headed pass he done over to Morris. So he has been and I've said it, he's on slightly better form than Yates. Yes, they're not getting the goals, but I don't really mind if he's not doing that if we're getting goals elsewhere, and it's all around. I don't mind that, to be honest. I'd rather that than in a way you're sort of relying on them to get the goals, but then they're not doing it and the others aren't doing it, because then you're looking at, like, look at Stevenage, for example. It's really Reed, isn't it? Really. It isn't really like loads of others spreading out the goals. Whereas us, it's a bit different. You've got Clark, you've got Kadoa, you get Morris getting a few now and things like that as well. So I don't mind it, but it would help if they get some goals soon, and then have a bit of a run up, because they have scored a few times, but then they haven't followed it up, and that's been the issue as well. And like you say, yeah, Yates, we said at the time he should have scored. And we felt on the watch long we needed another goal just to see it through and make sure we would have got the win. But overall, it's a much needed win, like we said. And like I said at the time, I think what really helped is the fact there was a winner in the Stockport Huddersfield game as well, because both of them could have gained a point over us, and it would have been 2 points, I believe, in the end. But Stockport won right at the end. So I was happy at that, because I didn't really care who won, because they were both on the same points. So it didn't really matter that much. Not too sure, mate. But I'm taking it as it's not actually going to be as long as maybe some of us anticipate, to be honest, because there's just more like sort of spoilers from him. He keeps putting like the timer emoji, and there was a picture of him and El Hamadi the other day, obviously working to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, that's another reason I don't think we will get a striker, because we obviously waiting for them.
Like new signings, isn't they? Really.
Yeah, especially like obviously we've had Elijah, but like especially El Hamadi, because we've only seen him once, haven't we? Well, twice. Sorry, the Stockport game and then the home game against, I think it was Bolton, maybe, where he was on the left side more. But obviously his Stockport game nearly scored, didn't he? It was cleared off the line. So yeah, I just don't think we'll get one, and that's why when I talk about what I feel we need personally, I don't say a striker, because I don't think it's realistic, to be honest. Even with Nordos going, I just can't see it. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, in terms of the player ratings, we'll get into them now. So yeah, do obviously get involved in the chat. But yeah, Keeley, I mean, he done that really good save, didn't he, at the start of the game? Like I said, they would have been 1-0 up, and it wasn't quite a clean sheet. But when he was called upon, I thought he'd done all right. Maybe a few moments where we're sitting on the ball a bit too long and we don't like it. But other than that, I thought he was all right, to be fair. So I'll give him he did do that big save. So 6.5.
I'll give him a 7.
Fair enough. I was going to say a 7. Moving on to Longwick, I thought he was quite poor in the first half. Like, his passing was off, and his passing's usually all right on the ground, I feel. I mean, the Reading game, it was decent. The Leighton Orient away game, I know we weren't great in that, but his passing on the ground was all right. But this game, it was pretty poor. Obviously, got the yellow card as well. So, not the best of games from him in that right back role compared to what we have seen. I still feel we need to go out and get a right back, like I've said. So yeah, Longwick, I felt he improved in the second half, but yeah, I'm going to give him a 6.
6.5.
Fair enough. People in the chat with their ratings, 7 says Jackie for Keeley, 7.5 says Paul, Longwick 7 says Paul as well. Moving on to Johnson, like Jackie mentioned, thought he had a good game. I did as well. And you got to think with him, and we say it, he's had a lack of games this season. And even that first game he come in, I believe, was the Exeter game since the um, since the injury. He was good in that game as well. And he has been decent. He has been decent. It's a bit of a conundrum, I guess, with him now because how well he's playing. Maybe people feel we don't need to go out and go on that left side because obviously we got Bramwell who can also play there as well. Longwick can actually play there, and I think he would be better there than right back, to be honest. But yeah, Johnson, really good game. I mean, in terms of the league games, he probably can't drop him at the moment, to be honest, with his performances. So do you know what? I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty decent. Other, the header, but I was a bit unlucky. He got his head on it. He's trying to clear it. But it's his getting forward as well. He's been tasked to take free kicks a lot more, as you can see, which he's delivering. And looks more and more at home, doesn't he? So it's good to see. And we wanted him game in, game out at the beginning of the season, and felt that this is an opportunity for him to, actually get some proper game time and showcase. He's not in the England youth set up for no reason. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, he just needs to keep playing, get a bit strong, little bit more physical. But I think he has come on a lot in that way, which if you compare him to how Lawrence was in this game, he might have all the skills and the gift wrap fucking Man City shit and that, but he was bullied quite a lot in this game. But yeah, Johnson 7.5.
Yeah. I've just seen Liverpool's team against Barnsley. Bloody hell, it's much stronger than I thought it'd be. Got like Allison in goal, TK Wirtz, a lot of them. But yeah, no, I agree. And the thing is as well with Johnson, like we said, I think it was when he extended that contract, obviously he come out and said he wants to play in the Champions League. So for me, like he should be being in this League One squad, showing what he could be about, and then hopefully, because he will go at some point, it's inevitable. We can put some decent money.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we can get some decent money for him. Couple mil maybe. If he can perform to decent levels, because even like his early times when he come in, I think his first game was Middlesbrough in the Championship. I mean, obviously you could tell he needed a bit of support there, but like I look at the games like Everton in the FA Cup when we was in the Premier League, and he was so good in that game. I mean, he come on and he looks like so calm and composed, and I think he has predominantly. I think he needs to work on his defensive game a little bit. But in terms of going forward, I mean, you're seeing it in the recent games, going through the middle, and helping them runs going forward and things like that. I think he's done well. So credit to him, especially, like I say, of his lack of game time throughout the season anyway, due to his injury. But yeah, other ratings, Paul says 7.5, Jackie for Longwick 6.5, Johnson 7.5 as well. And then moving on to Anderson, yeah, I felt he was decent again in this game. So again, I'll go another 7.5.
Yeah, same.
Makoso, obviously, I gave him man of the match in the game. I thought he was immense, given that it's his first game since Mansfield in the league. That vital block he done, or tackle, whatever you want to call it, at the start. And he looks so good. Like a lot of times in that second half, he's winning ball. And again, like I said on the match reaction, it's another one of them so-called big opportunities for him. Obviously, he had it in a Watford game last year, coming and sort of cemented his place. Then we beat, I think it was Portsmouth at home. He kissed the badge. He become a fan favourite. And a lot of people have not been happy with him being, I guess, thrown out of the side. But whether Mengi's to go or not, or he is actually injured, Makosa's got an opportunity now to try and cement his place in that centre-back role alongside Anderson. Because even when they have played together, they've played all right. I mean, they played together in the Exeter game, didn't they? In the trophy, obviously got a clean sheet. So you have seen them work pretty well together as well. To be fair, I know we haven't seen it loads, but when we have, so yeah, Makoso, man of the match for me. I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah, I agree. Man of the match for me, 8 as well. The thing is, he was covering. He was just not all over the place in a bad, you know what I mean, in a good way. Defensively, he was there. Just seemed really switched on, really on his game, and yeah, especially in the first half where we needed that, and he was that, and even in the second half, like he just looked strong, and we've seen his ability and how willing his heart is, to work hard. Yeah, he might have that language barrier and stuff like that, but you know, a lot of that apparently was under Bloomfield. You know, so we see what happens with that. But you know, listen, if we do lose Ming, we might keep both of them. But you know, Makoso's still got is a good player there, and he can play anywhere. Well, I don't know about left back, but right back, we've tried him there.
He'll be able to play there against the
three,
lower teams.
Back three, yeah, definitely. But you know, listen, he done all right. I thought he really stood out. Other players naturally stand out. Kadawa, you know what to expect from him now. Is that quality? Do you know what I mean? So you kind of expect that week in, week out now. Generally, Clark, you know, same. Like you said, if someone hasn't played since Mansfield, a couple of months since I think his first game in charge and that, you know, and then basically just got thrown out of the team, innit, or whatever, has, you know, been tasked to come back in this important game as well. But yeah, man of the match, don't care. 8.
Yep, no, I totally agree. And even like people that like were saying like they weren't quite like his man of match, but he was good. Like they were saying that because he had shaky moments, but you'd expect that. You know, he hasn't played since the Mansfield game, and yeah, I thought he was really, really good giving that. Like a large part of why I've given it in man of the match for that game is because of his lack of game time, but also the fact he has got a point to prove in terms of Wilshere, I believe, because he hasn't been in the squad since then. Like obviously he's been on the bench, but in terms of actually being able to get some minutes, it just hasn't happened other than the cup games. So yeah, that's what I say on that.
Also, he's got a little bit of pace about him. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So he can, you know,
and he'll be able to cover for Anderson.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what he was doing, and that's what I really liked. So, you know.
Amount of times he was doing that clearances on that right hand side in the second half. Well, where he's clearing it, it's the left hand side, but to us watching it, it's the right. But yeah, other ratings: Anderson 8 says Paul, 7.5 says Jackie, Makoso 8 says Paul, 7.5 says Jackie. And then moving on, obviously they're Makoso's first 2 votes of the season as well. Actually, our first votes of this year, Dad. We'll see the Exeter game. We didn't give it to anyone. But yeah, moving on to Walsh. Yeah, we'll go over to Walsh. I thought he had a really good game there again, and he has in the recent home games. He has. I still think we just need another option because a lot of people are not really keen on Saville. I don't mind him personally, but a lot of people are not. Obviously, whether them rumours were true or not, you know, they're Ebu Adams links. So I think maybe the club maybe still feel we need someone else as well. You know, we don't really know what we're doing with Lamine. Yes, we're playing him more deeper in the, you know, these type of games, but then there'll be some games where it'll be higher up. You know, he still hasn't really got that position cemented of where he's actually going to play, whether he comes on or starts games. But yeah, I thought Walsh was good. He was good. There was a few, you know, little shaky passes, but in terms of tackling, getting stuck in, I mean, since last year, he's massively improved on that. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, same. It was, you know, the thing is, you know, sometimes you don't know what you're going to get from him, do you? That's the only thing. Because if he does have a poor game, he has a poor game.
Like Exeter away, the game before, he was awful.
But you know, he's been tasked with not playing maybe so much in his natural position as well. You know, sitting deeper and things like that, and it seems to be quite relishing that at the moment. But against better teams, I still think that it get exposed. But listen, 7.5.
Yeah, exactly. And hopefully, and this is another reason why I say hopefully we can get another midfielder, more so a defensive one for me, because say you do that, right, and you continue with this 4-2-3-1, you can have, right, you can have like obviously Lamine, and then you can have a CDM with him. Let's just say Ebu Adams because we're linked with him. I don't think it'll happen, but let's just say someone we've been linked with, right? And then you can also give Walsh the luxury that Clark's had, and that's be more advanced, higher up, where his actual job is. And them two could work well together as well, you know, and then chop and change between maybe Lamine as well up there. I don't know. There's things you can do, or even Richards when he's back. And obviously, we've got a lot of players that can play centrally that play out wide as well. Obviously, Lawrence, Kadoa. So it's things you can do. So yeah, that's what I will say. Paul says 7.5. Jackie's man of the match is Walsh, which is fair enough. A lot of people were surprised he didn't actually get it at the ground. And I was surprised he weren't right like up there. Obviously, he was from a lot of people, but in terms of them voting for him, I was a little bit surprised he wasn't proper up there. Like I say, moving on to Lamine. See, I thought it was a decent game from him. It's better than the last couple of games. I just think it's been a bit difficult for him. Is probably one way to put it. But again, I think a large part of that we don't really know what we're doing with him at the moment because you look at games like Northampton away, where he's obviously, obviously scored. He was in a more advanced role, but then he's not actually, he's actually a CDM, but we're trying to play him there. But I don't know. I feel he's better attacking, even though he's a CDM when he's been at us. It's a bit of a weird one, but yeah, I'll give him a 6.5.
I'll give him a 7.
Fair enough. Paul's gone with a 7. Jackie's gone 6.5 as well. Moving on we'll go over to Lawrence. I thought he started the game pretty well, given it's his first game, in terms of proper professional. Like I said, I don't really count the Virtue Trophy. But you could tell as the game went on, especially in that second half, it got to him a little bit. It was a little bit too much for him, but still got a lot to learn. And will definitely be involved in the squad tomorrow, I believe, whether he starts or not. So, yeah, I will give him because it was his first game, I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, same. I mean, he was getting, just before he got took off, he divering on the ball or just got out really, which I was saying before, like I can see him getting out muscle quite a lot until he gets used to it a little bit. You obviously got good technical ability. You're not a Man City for nothing. But yeah, I was surprised that he started over Bramwell, but we got him on loan. We give him that opportunity. A real sort of wake up call, against rivals and things like that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. It's his first game, like I say, first half of football, really, in this sort of environment. And yeah, he's done all right in the Virtue Trophy from what I've seen. So yeah, it's probably a high chance that. But I want to see Archer. I want to see Archer. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, 6.5.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, yeah, we'll get into the lineups and things later for the game tomorrow. Lawrence 6.5. Yeah, says Paul. 6.5. He did okay for his first game. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. Moving on we'll go over to Clark through the middle. Obviously, he got man of the match at the ground. It might sound crazy to say, right? Obviously, he scored and he done well, but I've seen him have better games. Do you know what I mean? It was one of them. I thought the first half, obviously the penalty, I know he stepped forward, but even the skip, I think that messed it up a little bit. But I mean, redeemed himself like Johnson, in terms of getting involved, getting that goal, right place, right time. I mean, how many goals has he scored like that this season? I mean, the Reading away game, I know we didn't win it, but it's a similar sort of thing, right place, right time. And yeah, I mean, some of the pictures of him are brilliant after the games and even during the games, the passion and things like that. And I do not care when Naismith's back. Clark needs to keep that armband because I don't think he's proper vocal, but I just think in terms of like doing this talking on the pitch and then good at individual conversations, I can tell he's good at that. So yeah, for me, I'll give him he still gets a high rating though. 7.5 from me.
I'll give him a. It was right up there. Obviously, got the goal. His touch, mate. He was all over the place as well, and he's like one of the oldest players on the pitch, and just working, extremely hard as he has done all season. To be fair to him, I think he's probably had a couple of terrible games, maybe, but when everyone else has as well. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, just all over the place. Come up with a vital equaliser. And yeah, just give him a little bit of a rest, maybe, because we're definitely going to need him against Lincoln. But yeah, I'll give him an 8 still.
Yeah, I think he will be rested anyway. I think the only game he's played in this competition is the Cambridge game, but even then, I think that's because he was coming back. I think it's around about that period, if I'm correct. But yeah, he needs to be rested. Keeley needs to be rested. As for the others, I'm not really too sure. Some of them may be on the bench. We'll see. But yeah, other comments. Clark 7.5 says Paul. Jackie says 7.5 as well. She also agrees with what I say with him in terms of leadership. I will give him 8 as well. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And then moving on to Kadawa. 10, right place, right time for the second goal. And it was really interesting. And I'll give a lot of credit to Wilshere at half time anyway for that sub, Shaden Morris. I mean, I was a bit skeptical of where Kadawa was because the few times he has played centrally, he struggled a little bit, but it definitely worked with Morris there out on that right. And that was a massive reason why we went on to win the game, I believe. But yeah, obviously, Kadawa obviously finishing it off. And Wilshere, he had some really good positive comments that come out about Kadawa this morning. See, a lot of people are hoping it's pretty much official and given by what's been said by Wilshere, which I'll read out now. I'm as desperate as they are, obviously referring to us as fans. That will be done. That will be done. Whether it's now, whether it's before the end of the season. So we are going to get him officially. It's just a matter of when. Like, I know you've obviously said that, Dad. But that is the positive news we want to hear. And yeah, I mean, he is the star boy, if you want to put it like that right now. So yeah, as for his rating, he gets another 7.5 from me.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it got marked, triple, in the first half, they were all over him. But, they wouldn't be able to keep that up. He's too good. He just looks like the most skillful player on the pitch for us at the moment. He's real quality. And I think, that's where some of the anxiety come from originally. Yeah, we had the option or obligation to buy and stuff, but then you worry because if he's top scorer for us, week in, week out, bamboozling defences, etc., way too good for this league, clearly, then you're thinking West Ham are in trouble, or they're going to just go, no, we want him back. So I understand it, but it was done at the time. Obviously, he would have agreed to it as well. Do you know what I mean? And he really wants to be. He wants to be playing in a higher league, and he needs to be. And he's got some good connection with the fans as well. So yeah, let's hope this is quite. We can keep hold of him for the as our journey back up to where we were. So yeah. Goal news he was going to score. He's got such power on him as well, accuracy, strength, really, really good. 7.5. And as you say, move positions.
Which and I think that also benefited him. So like I say, he was getting doubled up on.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good to see.
Yep. And it could be, if we do manage to get in playoffs and we be a bit more consistent and improve away from home in particular, especially the Huddersfield game coming up. I mean, that's a massive game. That could be a game you look at the end of the season and go, wow, if we can get something out of that game. But it could be a bit of a full circle moment for him, if we are to actually be a bit consistent and go up. Because West Ham, let's be honest, they look like they're highly likely to go down, and he could be playing them next year. If we step up a little bit, be a bit consistent, improve that away form, it could be a bit of a full circle moment for him. So yeah, and I just hope, because we will keep him by everything I'm hearing, I just hope he can have that consistency and follow up on what Ali didn't do, because we thought Ali was showing that he was too good. So let's just hope Kadawa has that consistency going into next year as well. And we should have a real good player on our hands, to be honest. So, yeah, that's that with that. Kadawa 8, says Jackie. Kadawa 8 as well, says Paul. And then moving on we'll go over to Wells. Let's say I thought first half he was pretty anonymous, but second half he done really well. He laid off the ball for the winning goal, and he was getting more stuck in, and at least he's trying for the team. Because let's say in terms of a negative performance, I go to that Port Vale game where he's jogging, but then since then, especially at the home games, he's been right on it. He's been getting stuck in and trying to chase them down at times and things like that. So, yeah, Wells, I give him a 7.
Yeah, 7, much improved, and what we discussed earlier. Sometimes if you're not scoring the goals, you got to be affecting the game in a positive way, and he did do that.
Yep, absolutely. And then Shaden Morris, Obviously, like I say, massive benefit to him and obviously Wilshere making that change. And yeah, he was good again, direct, winning stuff, doing what he usually does. And, you know, if we can keep in the league games, if we can keep using him as that impact player, I mean, to come on and cause havoc, I mean, he could be a game changer like he was at Aberdeen, to be quite honest with you, if we can persist with that in terms of league games. So yeah, for me, I'll give him a 7.
I'll give him, 7. I thought he was decent when he come on. Like, see, flash scores are giving him a shit rating. I thought he was pretty good. Always looked dangerous. Getting the crosses in corners. He's always willing to run. He doesn't care. He'll take on anyone. Do you know what I mean? And it bamboozles certain defenders because they're not. They're like, what? Like, it keeps going. Like, and he scored a few goals for us. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I thought he was really effective and it worked. So I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sevens says Jackie and Paul. Brilliant 7.5 says Jackie and Morris. So yeah, moving on to we'll go over to Bramall again. A change that was needed. Just due to Lawrence's obviously lack of experience. And yeah, I mean Bramall's another good option on that other side to bring on. And yeah, I thought he was all right. I'll give him a 6.5.
I'll give him a 7 as well. I thought he was, come on, was looking to get forward. Didn't quite get any assists and that, but always on that outlet. And again, really strong player in that position. So yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, and then obviously Yates come on. Obviously had that chance. Yeah, he's got to be burying it, like I say, for me. So I'll be honest, just because of the chance. I know he weren't on for he's on for about 13 minutes. Plus, he had a time. I will give him 5.5 because that chance.
Well, I'll give him a 6. Like I said earlier, he's kind of rushed at it because he's sort of out of form, and if he was in form, he probably would have dinked him, etc. But as soon as he come on, he defensive duty, ran from the striking position all the way to the defensive position, and was getting stuck in that aspect as well, and that's what you want to see. They're obviously all doing that now. They weren't doing that at the beginning of the season, but we I don't know what the thing was. Do you know what I mean? But you have to fight in this league, and that's what they all seem to be doing now. And he did do that. So I'll just give him a 6. Saville, not NA. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, really? I was going to give Saville a 6.5 for winning that ball.
Went on long enough. Yeah, come in but yeah, it's not really enough time. I don't think to give him anything like a minute.
No, fair enough. I'll give him a 6 just due to winning the ball and then obviously Clark playing the ball to Yates. I thought he done well there. To be fair. And he come on to shore things up, and we didn't lose the game in the end. And that is his role. Like we said, that is his role. He shouldn't really be doing anything else. There should be the other players doing that. But yeah, that's what I will say. Bramall 7 says Paul. Jackie says the same. Yates 4. Sorry, no confidence. I feel sorry for him. Don't get me wrong. He does, like you say, Dad. He does come deep and he does try. But yeah, it's the thing with me with the strikers. It's not so much Wells now because he's being more effective, but it's like I say, it's them chances. There's so many Yates has had this year. I mean, he had 2 at Northampton. I was right there. He should have at least scored one of them. Obviously, their chance there, and that's the thing. He has obviously when he has scored, it's been good, but then he hasn't really followed up on it. And it's the same with Wells. It's the same with Wells. It's not just him, and it's a shame because. When he come in, I was buzzing. When Yates come in, I was absolutely buzzing. But he just hasn't lived up to anything, really. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens for the rest of the season. But yeah, there are the player ratings for Stevenage. So, yeah, like we said, much needed win. Makoto gets his first 2 votes of the season. As for the points, in particular, Jackie, you are going to be very happy with this. So the points now as they stand, a few people said draw. I'm on 14. Obviously, I said 1-0. My score was already done on the first goal. Obviously, you said 3-1, Dad. Very close. I mean, if Yates scores that chance, it probably is 3-1. So you're on 9. Jackie, you're on 18. Obviously, you said 2-1, so you got 3 points. Jamie also got 3 points. She said 2-1 as well. She's now on 14, so she's level with me. Rich is on 12 points. He said 2-1 as well, so he also got it right. Paul, you're on 16. Stephen's on 14. Tom's on 1. Phil's on 8. Andy's on 2. Darth Vader's on 15. Ben's on 13. Terry's on 9. Dave's on 9. Blitz is on 7. Chat GPT, hold that. Yeah, said 1-1. So on 8. And then Harry, Lewis, and Ryan obviously joined a bit later on. Harry's on 2. Lewis on 4. And Ryan's on 2 as well. So they are the points. So Jackie, you are clear top at the moment. So yeah, we'll see how that ends on the end of the season. And she says so happy in the chat. But yeah, moving on to the game tomorrow. Obviously, Swindon, like we said, we said it at the time, we do expect a tough game. Especially given their position in the league. And it's a good opportunity for them. It would be a so-called upset if they were to beat us, obviously being the league below. And everyone will obviously mention, they're in the Premier League 2 years ago, and all that. But they've got a lot of experience, like we say. So we're not going to underestimate him at all. They've got a defender, I can't remember his name. He's at Wickham. He vlogs the stuff. He was pretty good for Wickham. He's plays for them. He hasn't played in this competition. Well, he didn't play in the last game anyway. But I do expect him to play in this game. I do expect them to go with a strong team, to be honest. Obviously they're right up there in the league, but in terms of,
they haven't played since New Year's Day or something, so do you know what I mean? They're well refreshed and they'll be well up for it. It is going to be proper difficult. We need to go strong, and we need to, really play well, because they're going to be a real test, and they're probably playing in League One next season as well. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they'll want to test and give it a go. Yeah,
it's one of them where potentially, if we want to win this competition, we are the favourites. We've really got to step it up tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting. I can see us slipping up. I've got a feeling it's going to go to penalties. But yeah. Tough.
See, I don't even know if anyone knows in the chat. Like, if it's a draw, does it go straight pens still in these rounds?
I think
is it? Is it? I know it was early on. Like, it was weird in the group stages though, because like some games, I think one of the games in our group went to it. I think it's Barnet, Brighton under 21s, or one of them. They went to penalties when they were drawing.
It's knockout, isn't it? So there's no replay. I don't know. Time, to be fair.
No, I just weren't sure if it was extra time.
I think it probably does go straight to penalties. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, you don't have to get to that stage, especially with the game coming up, obviously, on Saturday. We do expect rotation, of course, but I do think there might be a few that will be in on Saturday as well in terms of the squad. But yeah, moving on to the lineup, obviously, we'll do it together for this game, like we obviously do in this competition. So just get it up on the screen. Yeah, in terms of a formation, I know we have been settled on this 4-2-3-1, but what I have noticed in these games, especially the recent one, we did play a 4-1-4-1. So I'm thinking we might do that, especially with that 2. You don't really want to play, the bigger players there, in my opinion, for this game. So I've gone with a 4-1-4-1. I've obviously put Lawrence in already. Large part of that, I wouldn't mind Archer. I would like to see Archer, to be honest, but I think maybe him and Archer can chop and change throughout the game in terms of Lawrence come off for him. And yeah, I had to make Lawrence because he obviously weren't on here, so that's why he's also already on there. But yeah, Shane goal. We know it's going to be Shane goal. He's been good in this competition. The only game maybe you could say, but then again, a lot of players weren't good. That game was the Cambridge game. But other than that, he's been good when he's been called upon. Same with the league games. So yeah, Shane goal. Now the back 4 is interesting for this game because, obviously you you don't want to put your bigger names in, but then I look at our centre backs, and I feel we might have to. Large part of that, we don't know what's going on with Mengi. Not that I'd put him in anyway, but it means you probably have to put at least one of the players that played on Saturday, maybe two. So what I'm thinking, so we said it earlier, Dad, Walters on the right. You know, we expect that. He did play against Exeter as well, obviously in the last game. Now, for me, I'm actually going to go with what the two centre backs were in the last round, which was Anderson and Makoso, same as the league, because large part of that, we don't know who we've got. You could put Longwick there in one of them, but I'm going to stick with something that has worked, because at the same time, as much as I would like rotation, I feel we do have to, like you say, Dad, we do have to go a bit stronger if we want to actually go for this, because this ain't going to be an easy game. I do expect this to be tougher than the Exeter game in the last round, despite Exeter being in the higher league. There's a lot more momentum at Swindon, and also the fact Exeter have to focus on the league. You know, they have to really. It'd have been good for them to go through, but they have to focus on the league, trying to stay up. So, yeah, that's that. Now, left back, again, that's another difficult area for me, because you can maybe put Longwick there. You could put Johnson there again. Other than that, maybe Bramall, but I don't think you play Bramall in this game.
It's going to be Johnson, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking Johnson just due to the fact, again, he played in the last round. The only thing that might not, make him play is the fact he's played loads of games. But then again, I don't think we've really got anyone else. Obviously, we've got Longwick, who I say, but we've been playing him on the right, so I can't see us moving him to the left.
Unless you put the youngsters, but I can't.
Yeah, but what I would do is I would have Harry Fox on the bench. He's been on the bench in the recent games in terms of the league, EFL trophy games. And he has come on. So I would actually, if we're in a good position, I'd bring Johnson, take Johnson off, and do it. And by the way, just in case we do progress, Wimbledon and West Ham under-21s are playing right now. Wimbledon are beating them 2-0. So, yeah, that's that. And then the one CDM, I'm actually going to go with someone. What's that, Dad?
Saville, no?
I've gone different. I've gone with someone who's played in this competition. I think you know who I'm referring to. He's literally only played in these games. Nakamba.
I can't. Well, maybe, but surely he's off, isn't he?
You'd think so. But like I've said, I think it's a difficult one with him because of his wages, his age.
I'd put McGuinness, Saville in there. I always say that, but yeah, Saville. It's up to you, mate.
All right. Well, let us know in the chat what you think we'll go with, and we'll move elsewhere.
Yeah.
The right hand side, I'm going to put Morris in because he didn't start last game. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, could see Kadura there, but we put him on the bench now if we need him.
Swap for swap. Yeah, I'd do him like for like in this game personally. And Shaden Morris has, I think he started the Exeter game if I remember rightly. In terms of that, and then the two midfielders, I've gone with. Well, I'm thinking Nelson. Give Nelson a go in this game. Do you agree with that, Dad?
Yeah.
Let me just. I have to put his first name every time. Oh, there he is. And then see, this side was difficult for me because again, it's like the centre backs and the left back. We haven't really got like loads of players there. Like you don't want to put Clark in this game. No. With the form Walsh has been on at the home games, I don't want to put him in for this game. Maybe have him on the bench, but not start him. So I was thinking Lamine because he's played a few times in this. Well, he's actually only been on the bench for the Barnet game in this competition.
Yeah.
But because he can do a bit of both as well, I would put him in for this game and hopefully give him a bit of confidence. So yeah, that's why I went with. Well, was thinking of going with him. So Lamine, and then up front, it's got to be Yates for me to try and get him some confidence. With the fact there's no one else, so obviously there's no Nordos now. So I remember last game in this competition, I was saying he needs to be in the first team because this was when he weren't getting picked. Obviously he's gone out now, so we can't say him. And I can't see anyone else other than Yates or Wells, to be honest, because they're literally the two that play up front. No one else plays up front. So, yeah, it's going to be Yates for me. Wells might even be rested because he's been rested in a few of these games. I remember the Brighton under-21s game. I wanted him to play for a bit of confidence, get a goal or two. Didn't quite happen. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Yates. And hopefully it's another one of them situations for Yates. But hopefully he can build on it this time. That's the thing we want to see. So, yeah. Jackie says, no, Savile I would go with. So she would go with Savile. Okay, we'll put Savile in then. We'll put Savile in. Yeah, no, I just think the only reason I said Nakamba is just because of the fact he has played in these games. That's the only reason. I don't really want him at the club. And it's, I think there's a large part of it he wants to play, but it's just we don't want to keep him anymore. But I just don't think he'll be gone till the summer. I don't think he'll go in January because of we got a conundrum with him. Like, he's a difficult one to get rid of. Whereas, like, you compare him to, like, Jacob Brown. Yes, Jacob Brown's on high wages as well. But, like, his age is on his side compared to Nakamba. And Nakamba's injury record's pretty poor. I mean, Brown's ain't the best, but in comparison, Brown's is better. So, it's one of them. And there was obviously the alleged rumours of Bristol City trying to get him in the summer anyway when he was injured. So, do you know what I mean? It's one of them. But yeah, that's the lineup. We'd go with them for this game. Do let us know what you think of it. So there is obviously, some players that are obviously beneficial to the team, but we have got, it's got to be a mix for me.
Yeah.
It has to be a mix because of the type of game it is going to be. It's going to be a difficult game. But yeah, not really knowing what we'll expect in terms of a lineup, Dad. Well, just throw a random prediction out there.
I've got a feeling we're going to get knocked out, mate. To be honest with you.
No.
I think it'll be like 2-2, and we'll get knocked out on penalties. What I'm thinking. I just got a feeling. And then then you really got to go gung ho for the playoffs and get promotion. I mean, that was our aim anyway. All right, you know what I mean. But we was talking about a big consolation if we didn't quite, the way we've been, etc. I like to win this, but I'd rather get promoted, mate. I've just got a feeling that they're just going to be right on it, and a couple of the players that we do put in ain't necessarily going to perform. Like Nelson and that, they really need to step up. Yates needs to step up. The young lad, it doesn't necessarily, but he's been doing well in this competition, the Man City guy. With that kind of lineup, I'd say that we're probably struggle a little bit. But could be completely wrong. But I'm going to go 2-2, and we're going out on penalties.
Yeah, I mean, there's a mixed part of me that I wouldn't mind going out because, I'll be honest. Obviously, I'll watch any like first team Luton game predominantly, but unless it's like maybe a friendly or something. But like, I do get that vibe because obviously a lot of people don't really care about it until later rounds. I mean, it's one of them where it's not actually our priority. Like, even these games sometimes, like when I'm watching them, like when we had that period of this game and then the FA Cup, I was sort of like, I'm glad the cup games are out of the way. So I wouldn't mind if we obviously, didn't go on to win this, if we, got promoted, of course. But like you say, this is the thing to fall back on. And then there's that other part of me which would like it because obviously when I was younger, I weren't really into football, and sort of experiencing another day at Wembley, given our records very good there as well. I'd have a bit more confidence. But yeah, I mean, it's one of them for me. I think there could be quite a lot of goals in this game, to be honest. I think it's going to be a 1-goal winner either way if it doesn't go to extra time. But I'm going to say a crazy game. Why not? Throw it out there. 3-2 to us. I'm going to go with why not. I was going to say 2-1, but then I was thinking, do we really get the same results back to back? You don't really do that in terms of the same scores from memory. So, yeah, especially recently. We'll lose on pens, says David. Oh, mate, that wouldn't be good. But hopefully, we've actually got some better penalty takers. And we actually put players on penalties that want to take penalties because that Fleetwood game, wow, some of the penalties there were shocking. Jackie says, I think we go out 2. Paul's gone 2-1. Obviously, these predictions, I'm not going to count them. But yeah, shout out to yourself anyway, Paul, for saying that. And like I said, I was going to say that. Um, no. Yeah, obviously, we got points in the obviously the
Yeah,
group, but yeah.
no, that's what she means. Points for
Oh, sorry. No, sorry. No, sorry. It's because you don't really go on the Discord. I obviously said earlier, no, we don't count this. The only time we will count this is if we do get to the final, because that's like Wembley in it. So, yeah, that's the only time. But yeah, no, none for this. The next one will be the Lincoln game, and then obviously we'll go from all the league games from there on in. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. But yeah, any final things, Dad, you want to say before we end it?
goal scorers. Oh, I don't know, let's just say Yates and the new,
Lawrence.
yeah, Lawrence. Yeah,
I'm going to go Lawrence, Morris, and Yates. I reckon Morris probably score again. Let's be honest, it just happens with him at the moment. He's like that guy that's creeping up there behind Clark and Kadoa in terms of the goal scorers. So yeah, and in this competition as well. I mean, I remember his debut was against Barnet, wasn't it? Mate, rapid, won the penalty. It was a great penalty, to be fair. So hopefully, if we do get to penalties, even though I don't want to, he can take one. This time and bury it in and do what he did the last time. But yeah, Jackie's gone with a crazy scoreline as well. She's gone 4-2 to us. So yeah, that'll be interesting. But yeah, the goal scorers, it could be anyone really. It would be anyone. Depends who plays. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting. We will be doing a watch along to it tomorrow, guys. So do check that out. Obviously, do remember as well the game's at 7. Obviously, a lot of the games in this have been 7. I think all of ours have, to be honest, bar maybe one. So yeah, obviously it's an early one, but then to be fair, I prefer the early ones during the midweek because then they're done. You don't have to wait till like 10 or after 10. Obviously, I'll do the reaction as well. So yeah, obviously I'll have that out as well. And yeah, hopefully we progress. We at least show a good performance again, and maybe a lot of players, like we said, it's a good opportunity to try and step up. Yates, Nelson, players like that, for example. So yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Don't forget to smash a like if you haven't already. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, we will see you guys tomorrow for the watch long. So yeah, until then, take care and peace.